Hello friends, today we have Professor Vivek Kumar from School of Social Sciences, Jawaharlal Nehru University. Professor Vivek Kumar has been extensively working on sociological aspect of Indian politics, and he has written different books and several articles on different aspects of Indian politics. He has been visiting professors in different foreign universities as well. Today we welcome Professor Vivek Kumar, and today in our team we have Neha Singh from CHD JNU. Sir, if we talk about democracy these days, the status of democracy, then what we see in India is that people, media and politicians all are basically engaged with the question of who is winning and who is losing the election. And the election is basically premised on certain issues, basically caste, religion, and these days law and order and development question is also has become important. Now, if we look at back the ethics of democracy, what Baba Sahib Ambedkar has talked about, that is the attitude of respect and reverence towards fellow men. So, in that sense, what do you see the present political parties, how they are trying to, do politics to realize such goals, or how far they are?
If you really think that India is a democracy, then I think you will be forced to understand that India is only a political democracy. And in political democracy, that means people have got right to vote. One man, one vote, and one vote, one value. And that's what Baba Sahib Ambedkar long ago had tried to talk about. On 26th of November 1946, that said that from 1st of January 1950 that we are going to be entering into life of contradictions. In politics we will have democracy, but in social and economic terms we will be having inequality, and therefore we should work fast that we should develop our political democracy into social democracy, and social democracy and political democracy both into economic democracy. So, but what has happened over the years? We have seen in terms of in political democracy, we have reduced it to only elections, and that's where people talk about every time that there is election, therefore India is in democracy. But what about participation of people in decision making? Where are they? Are they really taken into consideration? Then within elections also, millionaires contest election, or the mafias enter into elections. Media enters into elections. So it becomes a part of mafia, media and money. But the people are relegated to periphery. And this comes that allurement will start creeping in. And that's where the real, nature of Indian democracy becomes allurement, and that is proved by the manifestos of different political parties, as if there is no ideology. Every political party from right to center is, and even socialist, they are ready to distribute largesse after largesse. Pressure cooker to internet, to Wi-Fi, to smartphone, what is not been given? And it is hilarious a question that a place, a state like Punjab, where there used to be abundance of milk and pure ghee, the political party is telling that they will give them ghee. So this we have reduced to our democracy to ghee. Now, if that is the real democracy, then I think there need to be, a very, 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 very different way, a very nuanced way to understand. That is one aspect. But yes, on the one hand, we have this deficit of democracy, but there are actually, other section or other part of the democracy which has really given space to the voiceless people. And they had no right whatsoever, political, economic, social, educational, religious, but it is the Constitution of India which has given them these rights, and till 50 or 70 years back, they were not allowed to even contest elections. They have formed their own political parties, they are contesting, and they have become chief ministers, they have become president of the country. So we have very different phase of democracy in India.
So, sir, these days we see many new issues that have come up, like demonetization or the insurgency attack. So, sir, what is the status of current UP elections that you see, and what do you see that what is the actual contestation between parties is like? Is it triangular or bipolar, or is there a complete sweep? How do you see so?
As far as demonetization is concerned, at the grassroots, and I belong to UP, and I can tell you about UP that the poor sections of the society, the rural section of the society, were really badly hit by demonetization. But the painful exercise, the real painful exercise was that our mainstream media, the corporate media, was not showing that pain and agony, the suffering of the people at the grassroots. And also the politicians in power, they also never accepted. And even today, they don't accept that there has been this a very, very, drastic step which has caused a lot of pain, agony, suffering to the masses. They are not ready to accept that demonetization was totally a bad and as well as dysfunctional for the society at large. Now, having said that, in UP there is a triangular fight. I don't have to mince my word to see that there are three corners. One is of course by Bahujan Samaj Party, the single party which is contesting on its own, led by a single leader. Then there is Bharatiya Janata Party, and then there is this Congress and SP alliance corner. So these three actually ways election which is taking place in UP.
So, sir, as right now you said that BSP is working as a single party under a single leader. So, how do you see the politics of Mayawati different from other parties in terms of realizing Ambedkar or Kanshi Ram's ideas, and what has been their contributions as well as shortcomings of other leaderships, including Mayawati as such, even in realizing such ideals? How do you see that?
First of all, let me add a little bit more on UP politics. The UP politics, the national political party led by Bharatiya Janata Party, now they are trying to make this election as a personality-led election. A charismatic personality in the name of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They want to win the election on his personality. And that's why they are projecting him as a national leader who can really win them votes. But the problem is that this personality, which is being projected as the savior of Bharatiya Janata Party, is not contesting election. But there are three other personalities or two other personalities which are really contesting elections, that is Mayawati and Samajwadi Party leader. The fourth personality I was talking about was Rahul Gandhi, who is also not going to contest election. So there are really two personalities which are really in contention. And therefore I see, when I look Bahujan Samaj Party, I look at that is the most formidable political organization contesting Uttar Pradesh election. Why I say so? There is no confusion as far as leadership is concerned. The leadership issue is quite clinched. It is one and one only leader, that is Mayawati. Second, that party was the first party which decided its 403 candidates for each and constituency, and they are having no alliance. That means they are confident enough organizationally that they can contest on their own. Rest of other political parties are aligning here aligning there. They had confusion which will be their leader. Like Bharatiya Janata Party has not at all discussed who will be their leader in the eventuality of winning. Even in SP, there was not even clarity whether that party will contest on its own symbol till 1 month before the election. So in that context, I'm trying to argue that in Uttar Pradesh, BSP is number one at this moment as far as organizationally, structurally, as well as, candidate-wise. Now, in this sense, if you see the history, as you have asked that what has been their achievement. Now, there can be number of ways to, analyze the achievement. Number of ways. One, you have to, first of all, draw a framework to understand the achievement. Now, this framework can be of temporal history. How long has been BSP working, first? Second, then you have to talk about tangible achievement, that what exactly it has given. So I will say that seeing the temporal history of Indian society, which is hierarchically arranged, where have been discrimination, caste-ridden society, and that to UP, BSP's history is very, very meager, very small history, say 20-25 years, in 2,500 years history of India. So in that context, BSP has really created a fervor in the settled social structure, hierarchical social structure of UP, and the people who were not at all considered to be worthy of sitting beside people, they are ruling the country. So that has been the contribution of BSP. Second, BSP has been a democratic political party, a Bahujan movement, which has strengthened the Indian democracy by bringing such vast mass of excluded people. Otherwise, they would have gone anywhere. They would have taken red flag in their hand, or they would have, gone and worked somewhere in sundry. So in that context, by bringing such vast mass into political process, it has strengthened the Indian democracy. Third, it has challenged the hegemony of the upper caste in Uttar Pradesh, where if you see from Pandit Govind Pallab Pant, Pandit Tiwari, Pandit Sripati Mishra, or you take Bahuguna, or Thakur Vishwanath Pratap Singh, Thakur Veer Bahadur Singh, all were upper caste people who were chief ministers once upon a time. It is only after entering of the BSP that the social structure, which was hierarchical in nature and upper caste were there, political structure also reflected the same, that was broken. So in that context, one, BSP has really contributed in the emancipation of the suppressed masses by giving them voice. Second, it has strengthened the Indian democracy by bringing such excluded mass into political process. Third, it has really challenged the hegemony of the upper caste.
Different parties are preparing differently, their own based on their own calculations. Now, what do you see how Mayawati is and BSP is working at the grassroots level to consolidate the different communities and castes, apart from giving maximum seat to Muslim candidates?
Now, if you see that, I told you that there are three-corner race in Uttar Pradesh. Now, two dispensations, they are talking about developmental plan. There will be development, but they are not talking about social justice. That's the difference of Bahujan Samaj Party. Bahujan Samaj Party is talking about social justice. Social justice for the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, other backward classes, and poor of the upper castes also. And that's why they are talking about that, look, we have given, different tickets to different combination of the people. The social base or the social structure, the diversity in the social structure, the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, backward classes, Muslims and upper castes, all are part and parcel of the Indian society and UP society. And therefore, they should be given representation. You compare Bharatiya Janata Party. Bharatiya Janata Party has not given a single ticket to Muslim candidates. How can you do your democracy? How can you strengthen your democracy unless and until you give representation to every hue of the society? So in that sense, there is a deficit, and you are talking about only development, you are not talking about social justice. So in that context, when you start analyzing Bahujan Samaj parties, and the slogan goes very well, jiski jitni sankhya bhari, uski utni bhagedari. You have to give, representation for making representative democracy a participatory democracy. And unless and until you allow the people to participate in political process, you are not strengthening Indian democracy, and thereby you are not strengthening Indian nation. So to strengthen Indian nation and democracy, you need to give representation of every society. And that's why BSP has created this type of representation. Now people are talking about that it has given Muslims representation. 103 seats, that's why now they are counting. But to begin with, it had given 97. But nobody is talking about it has also given 116 seats to OBCs. So OBCs become a very, very formidable, plank for Bahujan Samaj Party, but nobody is talking about. That's what the people want to give a communal color to malign BSP, that look, it is eyeing only for aspirant. But there is a strategy, political strategy, where she is saying that there is this Dalit, backward classes and Muslim alliance also. Brahmins will come, because Brahmins are a floating vote. They will see where the power is shifting, they will shift, and we can see in Uttar Pradesh it's going to happen. So in that context, BSP has a very formidable equation, social equation. It may be losing in perception debate, because no corporate media is giving, representation to BSP candidates. Only Mayawati will come, others will not. But for other political parties, they will give different road shows, press conferences, or even the rallies of different leaders. But BSP is not given that much of coverage. Even in, the way opinion polls were conducted. In opinion polls, we all know how opinion polls are conducted. And worst part is that the opinion polls are fudged in the sense that there is no formula in any part of the world where you can change your, percentage of vote into seats. But in India it happens. Everywhere in the world, you are only given percentage of vote, but you cannot change it into the seats. But here in every opinion poll, you start changing percentage of votes polled by a particular party into seats. Now this is something hilarious, and I have given examples that sometimes it happens that a political party which scores less percentage of vote gets more seats, and it has happened, and sometimes you have more votes but no seats. For example, in 2014 elections, general elections, Congress got only 7% of vote, but it got 2 seats. BSP got 19% of votes. It did not get any seats. Similarly, in 2009 elections, BSP got 19% of vote and got only, 20 seats. On the other hand, the Congress had got 17% of votes and got 21 seats. So it happens that a political party's vote share may get scattered, and therefore they may not win a particular, constituency. So in that sense, I think the opinion polls are also not giving chance to BSP. In that sense, I am saying that BSP is a sufferer of perceptional point of view from the corporate media. But at the grassroots levels, their mobilization is fantastic.